Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, the top 3 point guard builds in NBA 2K26. Now as you can see, we only have 2 of them listed right here. I'm going to leave the third one as a bit of a surprise for you guys. But in today's video, I'm going to be showing these 2 builds in specific that are very evergreen builds. They have super long-term cap breakers that we also have a way to optimize them to still be good builds. Great builds, I'd even say, early on as well, with like 13 or less cap breakers also. But even still, we'll have them set up for like 24, 25 cap breakers if you wanted to play into the extreme long term and find a lot of good ways to even still have things to put on your cap breakers. More of like a, you can make this one build and it'll be lasting you from start of the year to end of the year. So anyway, I want to show you guys these 2 because I really do think they're really interesting, and then I will have the third build as, like I said, a bit of a surprise. So let's get straight into this. I hope y'all enjoy. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub, new to noties, all good stuff, and like always, try to win 1,000 likes. I should say, let's go back out and just talk about the difference between these 2 builds in specific. This is going to be more of your 3 hunting point guard build, more of a 3v3 PG. This could still be very good as an ISO point guard and even still be great on the 2s, be great on Pro-Am as well. You could fit a lot of different molds with this one. It could be an ISO point guard, but I still do think it could be an elite screen using point guard as well. This one's going to have a lot higher mid-range. This one's going to have the high 3-pointer. So when it comes to the guards in this game, I think there's a lot that you want to optimize, and that is, in my opinion, either going to be an extremely high 3-pointer and an extremely high mid-range. The value of a 99 midi or the value of a 99 3-pointer is significant in this game. So surrounding that with a lot of good accessory pieces and stuff like that. So like for instance, we have the 87 dunk for contacts, pairing with that the 75 vertical that goes along. We also have, eventually we'll cap break the 1 more speed with ball. It was just one of the more expensive attributes. So that'll be good enough for Hall of Fame lightning launch, and I think that'll be a really good spot to just be at. Then you could +1 it to legend, and then we'll at least be +3ing the ball handle up to that gold handles for days that you'll see with that 90 ball handle. Maybe 2 more than that to get 92 for a couple of key sigs, but I'm not a really big believer that you need something any higher than, I'd say, even 86 ball handle for the sigs as far as the dribble moves. I do think 90 would be a comfortable spot to be, but again, we have a couple evergreen cap breaker potentials, and that 92 ball handle would be like one of them that are very ever so slightly important. But moving along in the build, as you can see, we have 85 pass act. Now this defense is not going to be looking great. You might already be disgruntled by something like this. We'll get into the cap breakers really quick so you can actually like see what is going to be going on with the defense on this, but it is what it's going to see the biggest improvement, and that's why we have so much cap breaker potential for it. So as you can see, we start with 80 perimdy and 60 steal. The block is going to be the maximum that you can get on a 6'3 like this, and then we still have respectable speed with the 90, and then the agility starts at 84, but also sees some cap breaker potential with it as well. So let's go ahead and lock this in real quick. I'm going to just go ahead and show you guys the cap breaker version of the build, because I think that it's more important to see the cap breaker screen than anything. Alright, so the 6'3 that we've got right here. As you can see, for the cap breaker potential, what is going to be the biggest difference is going to be that perimdy and steal. So both of these can get up to really good spots. Now, I want to bring you over here real quick, and let me take you guys to the Twitter real quick, where I have some note sections that I have as far as some of these builds. Alright, so for the 6'3, I have a little bit of math and science to be going on right here, and as you're going to see, some of the things that I'm considering a short-term cap breaker would be to just +2 the perimdy and +2 the steal. So since I already have this on my screen, although I could low-key just do this for you guys real quick, let you see the whole thing. Boom, snap of fingers. I'm thinking 2 cap breakers on the perimdy, get up to 85, aka 86 right here, and get your silver on-ball menace and like silver challenger and stuff like that. Really be in a comfortable spot defensively to not be a liability, if you ask me. But then also +2 your steal, and that will be getting you to a 73, which is good for silver interceptor as well. Now, the long term of both of these, however, as you can see, if you take, +6 and then another +6, that's going to be +12. You get 92 perimdy eventually, while also the steal can go up to the 85, 73, and then obviously, combine that with the remaining attributes. It's going to be an 86 steal rating, which again, good for gold interceptor and eventually gold on-ball menace, gold challenger. So you can go in tiers, if you will, with this build. You can start with your garbage badges defensively. I think at least put +2 perim and +2 steal, and then boom, you'll be at a mediocre level at that point of like the silver badges all across the board. Then when you have the more long-term cap breakers available to yourself in order to put like 6 more defensively between these final 6 attributes on the perimdy, and then the final, this would be, the 13, I believe, yeah, 13 final steal rating attributes with these 3 cap breakers. That's where you'd see the use of actually having those long-term availabilities to you. Now, speaking of long-term availabilities, I would say even 3 agility, getting that up to 90 would be cool. This is where it's like double points, if you will, but then it goes up to the single. This is where we see less value to be putting something like that on. Again, with the speed with ball, +1, and then as far as the ball handle, +3, in my opinion, would be the good value spots. And once again, +5 3-pointer, by far the best value, and I think early what you would want to hit with this, if you ask me, to be able to get the 99 3-pointer in every legend badge as far as shooting goes. So again, to come back to this, to reference real quick, these are what I think are the short-term cap breakers. As you can see, we have 19 of them technically, but when we talk that +2 and +2, that would instead be a +13, which if you have, you know, specialization cap breakers and stuff like that, or if you're, you know, where I'm at, because I am a bit of a no life on here with a lifetime challenge done entirely. I have obviously both the season passes, I have, you know, the starter 5 caps that you get as well. So point being, I would be able to get up to this point of the build and a little bit more as well. So like eventually you could even still add one more dunk, one more vert. You'd be able to get pro contacts off 1. The agility, good ball. To be long term with the +5 perim, +5 steal, be a 19 in total. But again, if you subtract 6 by that, because that's what these, you know, final 2 cap breakers were, as far, or final 6 I should say, because these are the short term ones we're going for with that +4 between the 2 ratings, then you'd be able to get that pretty easily and quickly, I'd like to think. So like I was saying, I think this is a good short-term build and a good long-term build. As long as you even just have, I would even say, just 5 cap breakers and your specializations to be able to put. Now, to be fair, I actually should clarify that, and what I really do think I want to make mention of. This build in specific is best used if you don't have shooting specialization. If you have defense or playmaking, that's how it would much better be optimized. Now, playmaking specialization is a grind. Defensive specialization is a grind. If you happen to be someone that has either of those and you like to dip into the point guard play a little bit, this is exactly the type of build for you. You really eat off of the fact that that 99 3-pointer is so valuable. The types of people that have the shooting specialization do have a bit of a beef when it comes to this type of a build, because there's not much use you get out of it because you have legend badges across the board on the 3-pointer. If you're someone that would actually want to drop your maximum 3-pointer down to like a 97 or something like that so that you can actually utilize your +1, +2s, you know, that'd be understandable if you wanted to do something like that. But if you do happen to be down for the grind or have a different specialization between the playmaking or defense, it would be great, because that's where you really do optimize off that 3-point being, like, you know, so usable right there. I mean, once again, as we said, that's 99 natural right there, and you'd be able to spend your other, you know, cap break points between the playmaking and defense. But again, I really do think it would be solid if you did have a defense, for instance, or the playmaking. So just wanted to put that, you know, in mind. I wanted to really talk about that because in a couple of these videos I haven't talked about what specialization exactly would be the best. But again, it's a grind, so that's why I kind of stay away from that, because I figure any of you guys that come out here with whatever you've chose already is probably what you want to stick with. So I totally understand if you don't want to veer off that, and I want to try and give you options when it comes to these builds. So again, for something like that 6'3" build that we have right there, I would recommend, if you are like 100% locked in on the shooting specialization, to just potentially drop the maximum 3-pointer a little bit below 99, just so you can actually get more attribute point value out of your build, because you will be using obviously a +1 or a +2 somewhere. Now, with this build, it actually could work out if you have the shooting specialization, because even though you're going to get 99 mid-range, and what you're going to see is you get things like Deadeye, Set Shot, and Shifty all in Legend, you would still benefit, technically speaking, on this build. This will get a gold limitless range off that 93 3-pointer that we eventually get, and this is where this 6'6" could be interesting as more than just an ISO player. It really could be a pick and roll user as well. So I want to teach you guys about this little 6'6" right here. So as you can see, once again, this is looking interestingly mid right now. Obviously, it only has 72 perim, 60 steal. It does, however, I will say, get that high flying denier on bronze, as well as still having things like 99 mid-range and 93 3-pointer, which is really cool. And still pair that with contact dunks eventually, like we'll show in the cap breakers. I might as well just start skipping to the cap breaker screen on y'all, because like this is really not giving a good picture of what the build even is in the long term. But just wanted to show you the height, weight, wingspan, give you a couple opportunities to, like, you know, copy this down, jot this down. Anyway, let's go ahead and advance. Some of the things that we had that were pretty obvious on that, though, like the 82 pass ac is decent. It's not anything terrible. You could have the access to Dishmaster. You could have the Gold Dimer. It's a pretty decent pass accuracy overall, too. And then, obviously, combined, like I said, the ability to meter dunk with the contacts that we'll eventually get, the 3-pointer also being at an elite level. And, again, this actually works out in the shooting specialization kind of side of things a little bit better because, like I said, we're planning to +5 that mid-range all the way up to 99. Now, once again, that is for legend badges everywhere. We're talking Deadeye, Shifty, Set Shot, everything. And you won't even have to +2 a single one of them. Now, I will say it is technically lost value because you can't +1 something. But if you do eventually +5 your 3-pointer as well, and I guess it goes up to 93, that's gold limitless right there. and boom, now we're talking you could +2 the gold limitless up to legend. You now have every legend shooting badge in the game as well, but you're 6'6", and it's in a different kind of aspect where it's a little bit more mid-range based. Now, I'm not here to condone this type of play style on the 2s, but let's be real. 2v2 is dominated by midi faders right now. This type of a build would dominate the 2s court. It would really still be great in the pro-am scene, and even still be great in the 3v3 type of aspect as well. So this is, in my opinion, one of the best point guard builds there is. Now, as far as the ball handle, we do need a +5 that eventually. You could live with 85 or 86 if you'd like. If you're someone that's doing that like LT cancel, aka flicking up on the stick. If you know you know is pretty much what I'm getting at. If you're someone that's doing that type of stuff, I believe you need 86 ball handle. You might not need it. I think 85 could be okay, but I don't want to lead you astray. You might need 86 ball handle. Anyway, long story short, you want to get to 90 eventually. Let's go ahead and show you these cap breaker kind of notes as well. I want to go ahead and just display this. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull it up on the display capture again. I figure this is working out pretty decent. So let's pan back and forth on this. I think in the short term, what I'd like to show you is that +1 3-pointer to get that to 89 and be silver limitless range is actually a decent play, and you can make the long-term play the later 3-pointer as well. Now, I don't know why I didn't mention the 3-point later as well. I should add like 4 more on here, so this is even more long-term potential as well. But let's kind of address that one real quick. So as far as the 3-pointer goes, like I said, if we go +1, that'd be 89. You get that limitless on silver. You could still +2 that up to Hall of Fame, and eventually put these remaining 4 3-point cap breakers on as well. So that's a bit of a long-term play, if you will. Now, as far as something that needs to be done early, I think 2 dunk would be necessary. Boom, there's your 87. You can get your pro contacts off 2. There's your contact dunk packages off rip. I think the +5 mid-range is something you absolutely want early. And then once again, with the steal rating, it's going to be that +2 short-term type thing that we got going on right here for that 73 steal rating and the silver limit, or the silver interceptor, I should say, not limitless range. But we do also technically have that with that +1 3-pointer. But yeah, for the +2 steal and that silver interceptor, that's going to be a good spot to kind of settle in at. And then once again, it's the same thing as we just showed earlier. You can get this up to gold eventually. So as far as the perim D goes on this one, I think you're going to have to be a little bit more comfortable just settling in at +4, and that's going to get you up to that 85 threshold, and you'll be able to get the silver on-ball menace, the silver challenger, etc., all that type of stuff. It was hard to get this build 92 perim. I didn't find a way to do it possibly. If you want to look into it yourself, you could also, but it was difficult for sure. So I just settled in at 85 threshold, and the fact that we would just be able to use less cap breakers, so that's gonna be +4 perim. If we come back real quick, I know it's a little bit, handling all this stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and show this to you guys because I do think it's worth, mentioning this type of stuff to you. This is where I was saying that I think the short-term aspect of things can help you a little bit. So the +5 mid, +1 3-pointer, +2 dunk. Those are your easy, like early 8, if you ask me. Now, specialization can be factored in here a little bit as well. Keep that in mind. But after that, 2 steal. And then I still think that 4 perim would be a really good thing to do. Now, the ball handle is well worth mentioning. The +3 agility of the value of them all being +2s is pretty nice. And then the remaining +4 3-pointer is also to be mentioned. Now, wherever you want to utilize some of these right here, I would say like the, after the 2 short-term ones, if you want to use those extra 3 steal ratings or the 4 perim D or the 5 ball handle, the 3 agility or the remaining 4 3-pointer, I think those are the next type of things that you'd want to hit. So there's a lot to work with here. There's a lot of versatility, a lot of long-term play, and a lot of ways to flex the short-term play. Again, short-term ones, I think the 2 dunk, +5 midi, +1 3-pointer, those are your like really easy ones to hit right there. If you want to go any ball handle after that, if you want to go any steal after that, any perim D, anything like that, I think they'd be also the next type of things to go to. And then agility could probably save for last, but also like that is pretty nice getting 6 agility and 3 cap breakers and just having 89 all of a sudden. I think that's pretty solid paired with the 87 speed and the fact that you're 6'6". Now here's my thing. You guys might wonder, why am I not showing 6'8" on this video? I am not a guy that believes that you need to be a bigger player unless you're doing things that are related to being a bigger player. Now on these builds, you haven't seen us show anything like rebound super high or interior D in block super high where you're switchable, anything like that. I want to show you now why I believe that the best version of a 6'8" truly is something that optimizes those types of things instead of being kind of locked into just being a big guard that doesn't actually use its size in any which way. Alright, now, I don't normally do this, fellas, so I hope you appreciate it, because this could have been its own separate build video. I might even still make it, so I'll go into a little bit less detail on this type of a build. But I posted a new 6'8 that I'm on personally a couple of days ago. I've posted an original 6'8 that also was a two-way player, good perimeter defense, good rebounding, good dunking, stuff like that. I want to introduce you to a style that's pretty interesting, and I'm going to go ahead and get to the cap breaker screen right away because this is already disgruntling you a lot. I'm sure 54 three-pointer. You're like, what in the heck is that? I'm not playing point guard with that, Laker fan. So let's go ahead and accelerate through this a little bit. I just want to go ahead and capture that little, cap break screen. I'll go ahead and make the cut right here. Alright, so like I was saying to you guys, this is a build I haven't even shown on the channel yet. It's a brand new one that I've been playing on recently, and I have been loving it 100%. So let me talk about the idea and the vision that I have with this build. First, let's talk about the cap breakers. You're going to get that dunk up to a 93. That's a given. The standing dunk is here so that you can confidently meter dunk while also being below the basket. It's just something that I've noticed on my 6'8s when it comes to the cuts and the give and goes and stuff like that. This is a point center style. If you want to run point guard and you're confident in your ability to shoot with a 78 three-pointer, which let me remind you, I am, and I am LakerFan at the end of the day. I even play on pure insides half the time in 2K, and I've been shooting really good in this game with a 78 three-pointer on ISO, whether it's, me off the top or also not to mention even in my rare occurrence of catch and shoots, but I haven't even been able to really get the beautiful life of being a catch and shoot shooter in this game. I've been shooting off the dribble a ton because I've been running the 5 out as a true point guard. Now, here's the thing about this build that is disgustingly overpowered. The power of two-way tenacity really cannot be mentioned enough. When you dunk the ball, or get a drive and kick and pass to your teammate and get an assist, or just simply do a double move and then pass to your teammate, get an assist, you will get two-way tenacity on the other side of the court. Now, pairing that with the ability to have 92 perimeter and 84 block, and I know the 60 steal rating looks ugly and it's not going anywhere. I'm not changing that, my personal preference. I'm just leaving it at 60. And then the 70 interior D paired with the 84 is boom, giving you silver paint patroller. So combine the ability to get 92 rebound, gold rebound chaser, to get silver paint patroller, to still get 92 perimeter for gold on-ball menace challenger, stuff like that. When you pair the ability to get two-way tenacity consistently, nearly every single play on the defensive end, and be able to utilize that with your elite defense already, and it gets buffed up to a ridiculous level that I'll have videos on pretty soon, while still pairing that with good speed, agility. Let me talk about the strength in just a second here, but pairing that with also still contact dunks, the 93 dunk, being a pick and roll capable player, and once again, being 6'8", I want to utilize my size. I want to utilize my height. So the ability to still switch on the screens is there. We can still guard bigs. We can still rebound with bigs. We can also still rebound on the offensive end as well. 84 rebound, but it's still legend rebound chaser. This is being +2'd. So I just wanted to introduce you guys to this type of style because it's really interesting. And then also, not to mention, if you ever ended up in corner defense with this, it's a great outlet thrower with the ability to still grab those rebounds. You being able to get something like 93 pass act eventually and getting the Hall of Fame break starter, Hall of Fame dimer, it's a real key to the build actually operating well in a half-court offense as a point guard, but also throwing breaks and igniting the actual fast break itself rather than being the break runner like a natural point guard would be. So if this type of a style interests you, you can definitely check out other things on my channel of the builds that are very similar to this. I'll have gameplays showing very soon, I would say in the next couple of days, or I would even say the next day and the next day and the next day I'll have some gameplays of this build in particular, because I've been playing on this a lot in this post-patch gameplay over the last couple of days of playing, and let me tell you, bro, it has been disgusting coming out here on this build playing both ends, offense and defense, guarding ball and running 5-out point guard. It's been gross. So anyway, with the cap breakers, for me, I specialize in rebounding. If you don't, you could go ahead and just, +2 this as well and get that 92 defensive rebound. I'm not really sure how this would work for you otherwise, though, but you could still use your natural +2 badge on Rebound Chaser if you happen to not be able to use the specialization one. Anyway, point being, that is a given for me. Anything past that, I would be spending the +5 three-pointer and the +4 dunk. Those are the baselines. You want that 93 dunk for the gold poster? Honestly, though, could maybe live without it. I like a lot of the dunk packages that come with that type of a high dunk, though. Like I run front clutches, which is a 90 requirement, run side clutches, which is a 92, and then 93 just happens to get the poster, and we already have the vert to go with, so might as well, is kind of the way I see that. But yeah, I would definitely recommend the perimeter +2 as well. The pass act could wait a little bit. 86 would still be decent, but I do think 90 is a decent step up from it, and then 93 is the eventual goal as I get more cap breakers like we can show right here. You could get more standing dunk caps. Let me go ahead and switch back to that screen real quick. As you can see, as far as what we do with some of these caps, like I was just saying, we want something like the +5 3-point out the gate, +4 dunk also, and then the +2 per rim. Those are the must-haves. Definitely still want that +2 rebound as well, but anything after that is more like you want those initial +2 pass accuracy. Maybe you could get into that 93, get the Hall of Fame break starter and dimer. Then after that, maybe you could buff up your standing dunk a little bit, make it an even more desirable meter dunk. So this type of a build truly is powerful, and I have to show this because truly, fellas, like, I normally don't show my own builds in these top 5, top 3 point guards, centers, you know, locks, anything like that, because I understand that my playstyle is very different than others. But this year, it feels powerful. It truly feels like you can run this as a real point guard, and I'm coming out there doing it. I'm running the 5 out myself, and I see the power. So I want to convey this to you guys and put you onto a style like this that, in my opinion, is pretty superior because, again, I just have beef with the idea of, like, if you were to make a 6'8", but then have 60 interior D and 68 block or something like that, and have no ability to rebound the ball, I just don't jive with that. I don't like the idea of being big, but it's just to be a bigger player model. It's not actually to play big at all. So if you don't have rebounding, you don't have the ability to switch on screens and actually guard centers if you need to, and that's what enables you to even guard point guards in the first place, is that comfortability of switching truly exists. So to have this type of a block and guard people in the ISO, the only deficiency to this style is pretty much that you don't reach quite as much on ball. But now, to finish up, let's talk about the strength, because it is something that's actually sticking out a little bit, and it's a bit of a glaring thing to talk about on the build. Let me actually just switch over to my own and show you guys what's up with this. So it is this right here, the edge enforcing 3-point rim wrecker, I believe is the name. I don't really pay attention to the names too much, but yeah, what I've got with this build right here, as you can see, is that 73 strength. And what I am currently running for the +1s and +2s and stuff like that is to just get the brick wall back up to the natural silver level that I've been running typically. But look at the remainder of these badges right here. I've ditched set shot entirely. I'm shooting great with bronze even when I was grinding the build up, but silver is doing me perfectly fine. I've been running sometimes +1, +2 on the set shot. I don't think I even really care, to be real with you. This build is a slasher at heart primarily, obviously. Now, as far as what is a defender, as you can see, we still have even +1 on the on-ball menace, +1 on the challenger, +1 on the paint patroller, +1 on the brick wall as a screener. In the specialization, we have the rebound chaser +2, the box out beast +1. In takeover surge, I have posterizer going up, and then dimer also, just in case people are, you know, sending more help to me, as I have that poster machine on. With the playmaking and the +2s, we have lightning launch and handles for days. Point being, point center is truly exactly what this build is about, and it can still operate as the center as well. This brick wall and the 73 strength is not a complete deficiency. I did still want to be able to get that bronze brick wall so I can still plus it as well, whether it's a +1, +2, obviously. And if you were anything lower than this, like, you know, 71, 72 strength area, I just have 73 because the guy has strong handle on the gold as well. Figured I might as well just go for it. But if you happen to be below this threshold, then you wouldn't even be able to plus anything at all because the badge wouldn't even exist. So I'm definitely a big fan of that. But anyway, that's enough yapping. I just wanted to show you something of the power of this point center style and how I really do think it exists now. But when you see all this on paper, I think it truly does look like a natural build. If you were to have the 83 3-pointer, it'd probably look better. It's just I don't think you even can achieve types of attributes like that. If you want to go a little heavier, you could and still, you know, attain a lot of these attributes, maybe just one less speed with ball. I, however, like to go a little bit lighter on the weight so that stamina conservation is there. If you haven't already looked into something like that, obviously the lighter on the weight you are, the less stamina it drains when you do dribble moves, or let alone even just sprint up the court without the ball. So I kind of prefer to go along the lines of this weight a little bit more that just attains that 92 rebound and just leave it at that. But yeah, point center style. Really wanted to put y'all onto that. I think it truly does exist as a top point guard style in this game, and people aren't really hip to it, but I truly believe in this. Like, it's better than I've ever came out here and ran this. And I know it's not just me. I know others could easily do this as well if they tried. So I'm not going to gatekeep. I'm going to put y'all onto this, and I really do think it's something that can be added to your style if you happen to be playing with teammates. Now, this is probably one that's not as friendly for playing with randoms, playing in rec, anything like that. But doesn't mean you really have to run constant point guard. I mean, this build is still a capable shooter off ball, still a playmaker, still a versatile defender, and still a good rebounder. I mean, where does it, like, it can still fit in a lot of good places. It's just not as comfortable of a shooter as some might be. But even if you line up at point or at the 2 or at the 3, who cares? I mean, this can still operate at a decent level in all spots of the court. So there's our top 3 point guard builds right there. If you enjoyed, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff. Like always, try to 1 to 1,000 likes. And if you made it to the end of the video and you want to show your support that you did, put Laker or put guard in the comments. Short sports your way through. So I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, I wanted to at least put on for the real guards a little bit right here with like the 6'3" being more of a fading. Well, it could actually still be a fading guard. These 99-3 builds are actually coming out here kind of doing some devious stuff in the rec, in the proving grounds, in the pro-am, all types of stuff that I've been playing on the 5s modes. And even still in 3s, I've been seeing plenty of people also still doing that. Yeah, but I'm not trying to gas it. I more so mean the 3 hunt is what I meant to say. But then the 6'6" can be a lot more of like the 2v2 style. The pro-am fit the court a lot better. I mean, the 6'3" is still a good pro-am point guard. And then just wanted to still show, obviously, that point center style as well. But anyway, soft video. Hope you enjoyed. If you want to check out the other ones, feel free to. We got the top 3 locks, top 3 centers, a little bit more conventional videos right there. I really did want to throw that curveball in here on this video, though, because I truly do believe in the style. But anyway, we've yapped about that long enough. That's off video. Hope you all enjoyed. None of that. Take these, man. Peace.